microphone. Are you able to do that?
Hi, yes, I can now.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Awesome.
Good morning.
Okay, we just wanted to make sure that you were able to do that.
Mhm.
And do you have your class all there with you?
I'm not actually a teacher. I'm the district administrator.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So you're going to be going through this with us yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very good. Okay. We do have one more class that we've been waiting for, so we'll give them a couple more minutes if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. And can I ask you also, did you have any questions about any of the information that was sent out to you prior as far as preparation goes?
No.
It was all very clear? Okay. And Tim, I think if we just give them, I don't know, maybe 3 more minutes just to see if they can get in. I don't want to wait too long and I don't want to keep Mr. Owens waiting either.
Jealous you got Starbucks.
Yes, I do. Normally, you know, I'm very fortunate because I have Caribou in my building.
Oh,
And
that's
so
my
I have
favorite.
I have Caribou every day, but yeah, today I have Starbucks.
We don't have Caribou anywhere near except for like Denver, and it doesn't like if one's near, I make a point to go there, but it's very rare.
Build one for yourself in Minecraft, and then you have it right there.
Uh,
All right. Well, I think Kelly, are you here? Are you okay with us going ahead and starting with Mr. Alanis? Am I pronouncing that correctly, Mr. Alanis? Is that correct?
It's Alanis, but it's fine.
Alanis.
Okay.
I will fix that. Thank you for clarifying. I do not want to call you by the wrong name. Thank you. Alanis. I like that. All right. So if you're okay, I think, what do you think, Tim? Should we get going?
Let's rock and roll.
All right. Let's have some Minecraft fun. I'm going to share my screen here. So, Mr. Alanis, thank you for joining us today. We're so glad you're here. And hopefully you will enjoy the lesson that we're going to be sharing with you today, and that you are able to take a moment, because we as adults need some time for some mindfulness. And so I enjoy this lesson. I love this lesson. And hopefully you enjoy it as much as we do. So sharing my screen for you right now. I just want to verify, Tim, can you see that?
You are good.
And you know what? I think I'm going to turn my camera off just to save here, if that's okay. All right. Okay, so first of all, a little bit about me. My name is Charity Nix. I am from Shoreview, Minnesota. I am in a personal or professional learning specialist with NCCE. I've been with NCCE for almost 10 years now, and I am a Minecraft mentor, a certified Minecraft instructor, and part of the Minecraft community. I love Minecraft. I have seen this tool used in so many different classes and love what it does for students that we sometimes are not always making a connection with academically, and how they all of a sudden can come around and see the light, if that makes sense, with curriculum using this tool as a learning tool. So you can follow me on Twitter at ButterflyNix, and my email is also here at cnix@ncce.org. Please feel free to reach out if you want to with any questions that you might have, or just follow for information that I send out. And along with me today, I have my good friend Tim. So Tim, why don't you introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Tim Gallis, like Charity said, and I am also a part of that global Minecraft mentor community, but I have also, this is my first foray with NCCE, and you are more than welcome. I'm actually in Casper, Wyoming, if you have any clue where that's at, kind of in the middle of the, middle-ish of the country. We're enjoying some unseasonably warm weather for almost December, and like said, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Gallus, and then I'd be happy to be contacted with questions as well in regards to Minecraft. It's a tool that I've used a little bit more in the elementary level, but I do love some of the lessons that have been built over the last few years. It's a great tool that you can definitely incorporate into your classroom.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Gallus. So just a couple of housekeeping things before we get going into the lesson. If you wouldn't mind, and we have a small group today, so just keep your mic muted. There will be times where we will ask for interaction, and if you would like to unmute your microphone and share with us, we would love to have that interaction. Also, you have the reaction tools within the Teams meeting as well. So if you look up on the very top, you'll see the little smiley face with the hand, and it has those different reactions that you can use too. So please feel free to use those at any time through our lesson. And I'm curious to know, Mr. Alanis, what is your comfort level, or what is your skill level with Minecraft itself? If you wouldn't mind unmuting and sharing with us.
Yeah, I would say about 0.
Okay. So have you ever been in Minecraft at all?
No.
Okay, but you are aware that it is a block-based game per se? Okay. So can I ask you, what is what would you like to get out of this? I guess is my main question.
Yeah, so I'm the director of academic instructional technology for Houston ISD. We had a small pilot that was run by I want to say our STEM department a couple of years ago into Minecraft. It didn't really go anywhere because we didn't quite have a lot of buy-in from all of the stakeholders in the district. Yep. I being one of those stakeholders who didn't necessarily have buy-in at the time. Okay. I periodically get questions from teachers who are interested in implementing Minecraft in their classroom. Currently, our IT team has Minecraft disabled. So I thought this was a great opportunity to, learn a little more about Minecraft and see if it's something that I could advocate for if I find value in it.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I will tell you, you're definitely not alone. And I know Mr. Gallus and I can probably say this together, that there are a lot of questions about why we would use a game in the classroom and why we are doing more screen time with our students and in all of these whys. And so hopefully you will get that out of this. What we have found is that when we bring this tool into the classroom, we have some students that typically will play outside of the classroom. And so we call those our Minecraft masters. And so when we bring them into this environment, we encourage the Minecraft masters that have played what we would call the consumer version of Minecraft, because this is an education edition. It is a little bit different. This is specifically built for education with education tools. And so we're going to be using some of those tools today. But we ask those typical Minecraft masters to be a facilitator and helper within the classroom, to help those that might not be so familiar with Minecraft or have never played. Like, for example, you have not played before. So Mr. Gallus and I are going to be your Minecraft masters today and try and help you go through some of these things and help you troubleshoot along the way. We do have a Padlet that we're going to use as a back channel, and you can either scan this QR code or use the URL. And what we're going to do with this is we would love for you to share what you create today and your adventures through the Mindful Night. And so if you would be so kind to copy that URL or to scan that QR code, we'll give you this URL again a little bit later on. But that is just a site, and I can show you what that's going to look like right now. Here we have this Padlet, and any questions that you might have, you can simply click on this plus sign and you can add your question here. And it will be there for everyone to see. You can upload documents. And so this is going to be how our students and you would also upload your information. Once we get to that point, we'll walk you through that process. But then you simply click publish and your question can be added there. So this is a great way for us to not only ask questions throughout, you can also use the meeting chat. So if you'd prefer to use the Teams meeting chat, you can absolutely do that as well. Type those questions in here, and Mr. Gallus and I will make sure that those questions are answered for you as we go along.
Yeah, and feel free to ask anything in regards to gameplay, whatever might be happening. We try to cover most of that stuff, but we understand kind of going in without having a ton of knowledge about it that you may have some questions. So feel free to ask away.
Yes, absolutely. And even if you think it's the smallest or the simplest question, or you might think it's, you know, that quote unquote dumb question, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Please make sure that you ask. Speaking of questions, a couple of the essential questions that we are going to be going over today is how we can use tools like Minecraft to express emotion and to grow. And also, how can mindfulness help us in our everyday lives? And the specific lesson that we're going to be using today is the Mindful Night. And so this world and this lesson itself is going to help us with those two essential questions to answer those questions.
And I think, can I jump in real quick?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, just for that purposes of this, like what we want to stress when, you know, Charity mentioned the consumer version earlier is that the education edition has pre-built worlds and lessons inside of there that have been built by different companies. Sometimes it's the developers of Minecraft themselves that really give the purpose of pushing the kids to say, okay, so here's what you've used and what you know, but here's also a way to use this to help you grow. And the whole purpose behind this one, as far as when we talk about social emotional learning, is to just kind of take some moments, because we all know the last couple of years have been kind of tough on everybody. So it's not a bad idea to every once in a while take a break. And even though we're playing a game in this regards, but we're still kind of learning and saying, okay, I've got to take a moment or two to think about some things, think about what's great, and go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Gallus. And just learning what mindfulness is and how to take those moments and how to make those moments productive. That's really what we're looking at. So again, our objectives, it looks like we have a lot of objectives. Some of them, you know, some may already have, like learning the basic functions. Now for you, Mr. Alanis, you haven't been in Minecraft before, so you will learn the basic functions and game processes in Minecraft. We're going to build a community in the physical and digital world through collaboration and sharing. And we're going to use this pre-built, like Mr. Gallus was saying, this is a pre-built world and a pre-built lesson. So educators don't have to be a gamer. They don't have to even understand Minecraft to use this tool in the classroom, because there are those that have already created these lessons with these worlds. Sometimes there are lessons that don't have a world, but there is what we call an open slate world. It's called blocks of grass that it can just be used for creation. So all of these are pre-built, they're vetted, and so everything is there. And like Mr. Gallus said, is built for education. And this is particularly one of those lessons.
And the best part too is that you can assign kids to do stuff. We're going to show you how to do that and take care of that as assigning kids how to complete these tasks, and then they have to turn it into you at the end to make sure that you know that they've done their jobs.
Right. So we've got the management and assessment all built in here as well. And you'll see that as we go through the lesson today. We're going to build self-awareness by completing these emotional checks in the world. So there are 4 different challenges that you will go through in this lesson. And so you will be building those self-awareness skills. as well as being able to demonstrate the ability to regulate your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. And oftentimes, even as adults, we don't understand or we're not aware of how we regulate our emotions, and that, you know, in life, 10% is situations and things that happen to us, and the other 90 is how we react to those situations. So we do really have the ability to regulate our emotions, controls, and our behaviors based on the situations that we are in. And so we want to teach those students these skills at an early age and allow and make safe, constructive choices, you know, help them to make those choices based on those social interactions and situations that happen. Some of the helpful things that you will have in this world that are given to you is there will be a camera which allows you to automatically capture what you are doing within your world. And this is going to be something that's very important. So as you are being mindful, as you are experiencing things, you'll want to take pictures of it or capture it. And so you can use the camera to do that. In addition, through the tasks and throughout the adventure, you're going to have the ability to write in a book and quill. This is your journal per se of your adventure. So if you are, think of it as your travel blog. As you go through these different adventures, you'll have the ability to take notes, and you'll actually be required to take notes after each of these challenges that you go through. Along the way, you will see NPCs, which are non-playable characters. These characters are going to give you information and direct you to where you need to go. So it's very, very important to talk to every NPC that you see. If you see anyone standing there, make sure that you talk to them. And so the reason that we emphasize this so highly is because you may miss something if you don't talk to a specific character. So we can't emphasize that enough. The other thing that we want to emphasize is that this particular world and these lessons have different settings. Okay, this particular lesson is what we call an adventure world. So there is creative, there is survival, and there is adventure. Most times when kids play Minecraft in the consumer version or the personal version outside of education, they are used to survival. This one has a little bit different situation in that it's an adventure. So it's almost like a choose your own or ending kind of thing where you get to make choices or you get to do various different things, but you don't have to worry about that survival aspect. The key thing here is we're going to take you through a couple of different settings when we start out, just to help you if you are somebody that potentially gets motion sickness. We're going to help try to alleviate some of that for you. There is a setting that we can do in all worlds to help with that. But the key thing is to not change any other settings other than the ones that we ask you to modify, because that will affect your adventure throughout this world. Mr. Gallus, anything else you want to add to that?
I just wanted to share. So, Mr. Alanis, I don't know. We just want to make sure if you do share this, you know, with some of your students or whatever, like that's one of the things, like some of those Minecraft masters, they know that if they're going to go in that world and they've got, you know, maybe they get stuck on something, that their tendency might be to change the setting. And that's just something that we want to discourage in this case, because they're really in this, it's not about building as much in this particular world. It's more about the reflection piece and the mindfulness. So it's just one of those things that you don't want to like get, because then it just kind of starts to be like, you know, you don't want to dig a hole and then fall out of the world and then not sure how to get back to there. So it's happened.
Yeah, we've seen that happen. So just some of those key little tips and tricks. Some other things that we want to help you to understand and be aware of. For the very, very new users, this is going to be something that's very helpful for you, is that you will have keyboard shortcuts. So how to move around. These keyboard shortcuts over here on the left, okay? These are going to be the menu to show you how to interact, how to move, how to navigate. And those will always be on the left-hand side of your screen. For those that are very savvy with Minecraft, they can hide those if they want to. And so they'll be able to hide those shortcuts. The tools that you have, for example, the camera and the book and quill that we mentioned you will have, that is going to be located in what we call your hotbar or your inventory. And so there are 9 spots for inventory to be held. For the most part in this lesson, you won't have to worry about where they are or where they're going to go, because they will be given to you. As you go along through your quest, you will also be given different tools. And so those will automatically go into your hotbar. But know that you can use your keys on your keyboard 1 through 9 to access the individual tools. So for example, this box is highlighted around number 2. If you wanted to go use your camera, you would just use your number 1 key on your keyboard, and that would allow you to use that camera. Okay. Also, as we get into the Book and Quill, your journal, okay, when you start typing and you start writing within your Book and Quill, you will need to use your arrow keys to move your cursor through the text in your Book and Quill, because the mouse won't work. Unfortunately, it's one of those things where you can't put your mouse and click where you want your cursor to go. We have to use the arrows. So just that little tip and trick for you when you get into writing within your Book and Quill.
And if you happen to be using a touchscreen device, and if you're new to this, I kind of personally found, just as a starter, using that touchscreen controls, because you could navigate that particular way too. There's an on-screen joystick, and just touching the screen will take you to those same places. Clicking on those places will take you into the same spots that Mrs. Nix was talking about.
Yep, that is great. It also takes you into a whole different perspective of the game using a touch device. So it'll work with any touch device, with iPad or even a Surface Pro or whatever you might have. One thing that I absolutely love about Minecraft is that we have the immersive reading tools, these accessibility tools built within the game. So this is really a learning tool for all learners, because those students that may have reading disabilities, excuse me, they can use the immersive reading tools to have whatever is written or spoken from the woodsman or any other non-playable character, or any board that might be within the world. They can have all of that read to them. The other great thing is that they can also have it translated. So if English is not my primary language, even if this lesson is in English, I can translate this using these immersive reading tools into whatever language I am more fluent in, so that I have that understanding and I can go back and forth using these tools. This is the icon right here for those immersive reading tools. But if you don't see that icon, you can hit the I on your keyboard at any point in time to bring up those immersive reading tools throughout the environment. And even though this is digital, we also encourage those physical tools as well, especially in this environment, in this world, in this lesson, because you're going to be experiencing things, and we want you to be able to write down those ideas as you feel them, as you think of them, because your mind is going to be bouncing from one thing to the other. We want you to be able to jot those ideas down, so that when you get to the point where you're going to be writing in your Book and Quill, that you have those ideas down and you don't forget them, because there's going to be a lot of different things going on throughout this world. Also, if you wanted to use headphones, this is going to help you to stay on task. And if you have any other outside background noise or side noises, it'll deflect from that as well. So again, here is that URL and the QR code for the Padlet. Again, we have this Padlet as a question area, but we also are going to have you, when you export your book, your journal as a PDF, we're going to have you share that underneath your specific column in the Padlet, so that we can see what your adventure was like. And so let me just show you what that Padlet looks like. So here you will see you have your own column right here, and you would simply click this plus sign, and then you will add and upload that PDF right there for us when you are done. And we will go through that process with you also again. Okay, now, Mr. Alanis, we are hoping that you will be able to follow along with us. And this is kind of our attention getter. So when you hear Mr. Gallus and I say creeper, whatever work that you are doing, we're going to need your attention at that point in time. So we will ask you to hit escape, which will pause your game, and just give us your attention back, because there's something that we're going to need to explain to you, or some tips and tricks to give you, so on and so forth. So when you hear us say creeper, just come back to us and we'll give you a few more instructions, and then we will let you continue on with your process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Do you have
Okay.
any questions right now?
No.
Okay. How are you feeling? Are you feeling a little anxious right now?
No, I'm all right.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Gallus, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think let's do this.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you into this mindful night world. But again, we want to go through a couple of settings with you. So hang with us for 2 more slides and we'll get you into the world, I promise. Okay. So when we open Minecraft Education Edition, we're going to take you to the subject kits. This is where you're going to find this specific lesson. It's going to be located in the social emotional subject kit. So again, there are subject kits for computer science, math science, equity and inclusion, history and culture. There are so many subject kits, and there's always subject kits and lessons within those kits that are being added continuously. So this is not the only lesson in social emotional. There's a whole group of various different lessons. We're just specifically going to be focusing on the mindful night. Okay. When we get to that lesson, when we get to that world, we're going to have you do a couple of things. And again, the main thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into the video settings and we're going to turn off the view bobbing, because that's going to minimize the amount of motion that's going to happen within the world for you to actually move and get around. Okay. But again, do not change any other settings other than the ones that we are asking you to change. We'll also change some audio settings for you if you want to turn the music off or if you want to turn the noise from the actual game off. So we'll help you do that here right now. Okay. With that, let's go ahead and open up Minecraft. And just so you know as well, Mr. Alanis, is that Minecraft is kind of it needs a lot of power. And so when we run teams and we run Minecraft at the same time, oftentimes we will turn off our video so that it helps to eliminate the slowdown, if that makes sense. And so depending upon your Wi-Fi, I might have to jump because I'm currently on hotel Wi-Fi. So Tim may take over here with the Minecraft piece if mine just does not continue to go as quickly as we would like it to. The other thing that you will notice is that as you are logging in, you will get different notifications that come up. I get it. Talking, and that's hard for me. But you will get different clues and notifications that come up. And so it's always good to pay attention to those because they're tips and tricks that the Minecraft game or the world gives you. Okay, that wasn't too bad. All right, so are you right along with us? Are you already logged in, Mr. Alanis?
Yep, I'm logged in.
Awesome.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go to play. And we're going to go into view library. Okay, and then we're going to go into the subject kits. And this is where we're going to find that social emotional group. Okay, and in that social emotional group, you should see the mindful night. And then we are going to click create world. And if you have any troubles, make sure you let us know, okay? This may take a little while to load because it is a fairly large world with a lot of fun stuff in it. So we'll just give it that extra time it may take.
How many times do you think you've opened this world, Mrs. Nix?
I open a lot. I have a lot of copies of it. Let's put it that way. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through this first part just to get your feet wet, to get you familiar with what you're going to be doing, what the expectation is. So there are 4 different challenges. We're going to walk you through that first one, keeping in mind that every NPC or non-player character that we see, we're going to talk to. Okay, so if you have your external mouse, that's always a key thing. That's going to help you to move around like your head. Okay, so think of your mouse as your head. So as you move it forward, you're going to look up. If you pull it back, you're going to look down. If you move it side to side, you're going to turn around. Okay, so if you use your mouse and you turn around, you're going to see around you. All right. And you're going to see this sign that says you should speak with the queen before you leave. Now, before we go speak to the queen, we're going to work on those settings, because just moving around, you may have noticed that there's a lot of motion there. Okay. So we're going to hit our escape key to pause our game, and we're going to go into those settings. Okay. All right. And in our settings, we're going to go and scroll down to first audio. And this is where you have your music and your sound. So if we turn the music up, you're going to hear the music of Minecraft. And in all reality, it's actually kind of very soothing. I don't mind it myself. But when you have a classroom of students, you may, if they don't all have their own headphones, which we recommend they do, you would want to turn the music down. The sound are the sounds of the game. So if you are walking, you're going to hear your feet crunching on the ground. Or if you have some of the animals around you, you're going to see some of those and hear some of those animals as well. So you have the option to adjust your music and sound. Okay. Once you do that, we're going to go to video. And once you click on video, on the right-hand side, scroll down to where you see view bobbing. Here's the key phrase that I like to use when we're talking about settings within Minecraft. And you'll see there's a lot of them, but we're only going to focus on this particular one. But when you hear the phrase right on, okay, that means that when this button is to the right, that means that setting is on. Okay, so I have my view bobbing to the left, which means that's off. This is going to eliminate some of the extra movement. Like when you walk around, your head will bob, just like it does when you walk normally. So when I have this view bobbing off, it's going to minimize some of that movement. Okay, so once you have set that, we're going to go back and click the arrow just to the left of the word settings to get us back to our game where we can click resume game. We're going to click on that arrow next to resume game. Okay, were you able to set those settings?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so now we're going to begin. Here is your first attempt at moving. If you notice the W, S, A, and D keys. So W is forward, S is backwards, A is left, right is D. And again, you'll have those beside you all the time on the left-hand side. As you move forward and you use your mouse to turn, and I have that crosshair in the middle, you're going to see that when I get close enough on the bottom right of my screen, I now have another menu. This is what I like to call the interaction menu. So now I'm interacting with my wizard. So when I right click, I can talk to the wizard. And again, this is where we want to talk to all of the people that we come into contact with. So today is our big day. We're going to begin our knight's trial. Okay. My advice, talk to everyone you meet. You never know who might help you. You can start now by talking to Queen Serenity. I'll see you around. Okay, so we can close that and go ahead and move forward and go talk to Queen Serenity. And again, if your crosshair is on her, notice that my crosshair is on her. If I am too far back, I cannot interact. Look at your bottom right. And so you will know when you're close enough to interact with the people that you want to talk to, okay?
Yellow text up above their heads too also gives you a nice little indicator you can talk to.
Yep. Okay, so welcome to the Knight's Trial. To become a knight, you'll need to find your armor relics. This quest will not be simple or easy. You must master crucial mindfulness skills to succeed. Take these tools with you, the mystical camera and the book and quill. They will aid you on your journey. Good luck. Let's accept the trial. Once you accept, you will notice now that I have the book and quill in my hotbar down on the very bottom, number 1, and number 2, I have my camera. Okay. We're going to turn around and we're going to start our quest. We're going to leave the castle. And Mr. Alanis, did you get your book and quill and your camera?
Yes.
Perfect. Now remember, we want to talk to everyone. Now, obviously there's a horse here. We can't talk to the horse. And if you notice right now, because I have my cursor around my book and quill, in the bottom right, if I was to right click, it says write. I don't want to do that right now, but if you notice my camera now, if I right click, it says use, okay? And when I get to my crosshair, I want to get up to the knight and I want to talk to him. So let's talk to him and we'll continue on. So you want to be a knight, huh? I give you the advice, be mindful. Mindfulness is the skill of being aware of your present moment without judging it. This is the key piece, without judging. Now head off to the woods to find your first challenge. Good luck. So we're headed to the woods. You will notice that as you go through here and you talk to the people that you are supposed to talk to, they basically give you the direction that you need to go. So we need to go to the woods. So I'm going to go to the right, and I notice I have another NPC here. So let's go ahead and talk to him. That is our farmer. Being mindful improves your focus and understanding of your emotions. It also helps strengthen the mind-body connection. I practice mindfulness while I'm doing my harvest. It helps me pay attention and not get distracted while gathering the crops. Okay.
So as you can kind of see here, these NPCs are really giving you a background as to what mindfulness is, as far as, because I'm sure we have some students who maybe haven't had a chance to practice that or whatever it might be. And this is just giving them a little background information.
Absolutely, because we need to know what mindfulness is before we can actually practice it, right? So our villager is telling us that mindfulness is not a relaxation exercise, which a lot of people think it is. But if it does relax you, that's just a nice side effect. So it's even better. And that's some of the things, like we are giving you a precursor to what you may experience as we go along into the woods here. Okay. All right. And who do we have here? And we're just going to walk you through this first challenge, and then we're going to let you go through the next ones on your own. So we're going to talk to the woodsman. Mindfulness is not about clearing our minds. It's about being aware of the thoughts that our minds are full of. It's in the name, mindfulness, right? So remember that. These are those key things that we want you to write down. So go ahead and write that down on your piece of paper, is mindfulness. So it's not about clearing your mind. It's about being aware what your mind is thinking of. Mindfulness. All right. And here is our first challenge, journey to the Tower of Focus. Here is our wizard. Let's talk to him. Want to know the secret of performing magic? Attention. I can't perform spells if I'm distracted, just as knights can't protect the kingdom if they are distracted. Naturally, our mind jumps from thought to thought without us noticing. Follow me to the Tower of Focus for your first challenge. So we're going to follow to our wizard. And follow him wherever he goes. Now, you will want to take notice of what is around you, what your surroundings are. And I'm in this big 4-walled structure, and I have the wizard here. So let's talk to him again. You must perform a levitation spell to escape the tower. To do this, focus on your breathing and try not to get distracted by your thoughts or what is around you. Sit up straight and relax your body. Press cast spell and begin breathing. If your mind wanders, come back to your breathing. It's okay because it's hard at first, okay? But be aware of where your mind goes. So let's go ahead and cast the spell. All right, and now we're going to practice our breathing. So let's take a breath in and breathe out. being mindful of what we're thinking of. Breathe in, focus on the breath, and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, keeping focus, keep that mind focused on your breath as we breathe in and breathe out. We breathe in and we breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Okay. Now we have levitated to the top of the tower. You will see there's that floating object, and that is our helm of focus. Okay, if we use, whoops, I took a picture there. Notice I had my camera, so I just used my camera and I took a picture. I need to get closer here to Princess Brethany so that I can talk with her. It says, well done focusing on your breathing. Our minds can naturally wander, and this can be good for creativity, but when we practice mindfulness, we want to focus on one thing. This gets easier with practice. For taking your first steps towards mindfulness, I award you with the helm of focus. Good luck. So now what we're going to do is reflect on this event. Okay, so this is going to take us into our Book and Quill. Okay, and this is our journal. So I'm going to step back here. So you're going to share your experience in your Book and Quill. We're going to open the journal. So we need to make sure we select our journal from our inventory, and mine is in my first spot. So I want to make sure that that is selected. Okay, and I right click to open it. And when I'm finished, I'm going to push the button behind to continue your quest. So what we're going to have you do is take a moment here to write in your journal, and we're going to show you what that's going to look like. And then you can continue on to the next challenges yourself, and we'll give you some time to do that. Oops, I got to make sure I'm on my, there we go. Okay, so here is my Book and Quill, and you will see that there is some text already in your journal for you as a guide, and then you will be able to go and edit. So here on page 1, this is our journal. You use it to reflect after each challenge, follow the prompts in each section. When you have finished your journey, we're going to sign and export this book, and we're going to turn it in onto that Padlet. Once you sign your book, you cannot make edits. So this is very important. So don't sign it before you are completely done. Here's our first challenge. What emotions did you notice when you were paying attention to your breathing? Did you notice your mind wandering? What thoughts did you have? We're going to answer on the next page. So to turn your page, we're going to click on this arrow. Excuse me. And on the bottom of the page, you will see we have edit options. And so this plus here, I can put my cursor right here and I can start typing. Okay, and go ahead and write in your journal. And when you are done, remember, do not sign, but simply click the X in the top right. So we'll give you a couple moments to do that. Okay, and Mr. Alanis, if you want to let us know when you are done writing in your journal and you're ready to move on. You good?
Yep.
Okay. So now we're going to click that X to close our journal. It's going to save everything that we've written thus far, and we're going to use this button to move on to our second quest. Okay. We're going to go to the Pond of Presence. And again, we come across an NPC, and from this point on, I'm going to let you go ahead and explore. We're going to give you about 10 minutes to go ahead and do this, and then we're going to show you how you can export. So you may get through the second challenge, the third challenge, however far you get, that's great. You work at your own pace, and then we're going to give you that signal using our creeper, and we will bring you back and show you how to export that Book and Quill, okay? So go ahead and continue on your quest. Keeping in mind, you want to talk to every NPC that you come across. And if you have questions, we are here to help you out. And for some reason, Tim, my timer
Does
doesn't
not want to start?
No, and I'm not sure if it's my
Oh.
Wi-Fi or what it is. But that's okay. I'll keep time on my watch.
I got it running in the background too.
All right, I ran into my first question. How do I jump on an iPad? Because I happen to be using an iPad today,
Ah,
and I cannot figure out how to jump out of the hole.
you should have a little diamond shape over on the right side that should let you jump. That pool is a little tricky to get out of. And it's not so much, as long as you can kind of like shift around and move your head to see what those signs are saying. That's the most important part. And you should be able to see those without navigating so much.
Because I think I can't. Oh, we'll let me talk to the wizard. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little tricky to get out of. I'll give you that one. I think I struggled to get out of there.
And my computer decided to mute me. So let me go back in here because I have now touched my computer so that I was on touch mode. So here is that button. Hopefully you are able to see it on the right here in just a second. You let me know if you can see it, Tim.
Yeah,
Yep,
I don't have that diamond. I have these like a up arrow and down arrow.
That's on the left. On the very
on
right.
the right. Like, yeah, no, on the right hand side, I have like an arrow that curves up and an arrow that curves down. It looks like it's making me crouch and possibly
Let me look real quick. I got an iPad handy here. I'm going to look real quick.
Okay. Is there, let's see. Nope. That's interesting that it switched to that mode. Let me jump into here. Okay. Oh, yep, you have that. So when you hit the plus, like if you move your arrow and then hit that curved up arrow, you see how I kind of go up a little bit there?
Yeah.
And then move forward. Oops. Yeah, it's not letting me get over and out of this little spot. That's interesting. Oh, there. If you use your forward motion, your favorite forward motion, boy, that was tough. Arrow on the left, as in addition to that up arrow, it should allow you to walk out.
Got it.
Okay. And then click and hold and turn to look around. Boy, I tell you, when I use my touch, it is really finicky for me today.
Did you get to move along out of that little spot in the?
Yeah, now I'm on
Okay.
the next challenge.
Good.
Are you on to the third one?
Yeah, but I got stuck with the boots. I'm not sure what to do.
Well, the boots you collect, that
Uh-huh.
you collect in the boots of being, you just end up collecting them as you create that challenge.
Uh-huh.
There's not necessarily anything that you might need to use it for right now.
Yeah, but how do I move on after she gives me the boots?
So you should have, can you see my screen by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Oh.
should have been in this little room up
Oh,
there.
behind her? Yeah.
Yep, and then just move out and you'll find the wise woman.
Yeah.
And she opens the gate once, if you've traded the fish with her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like the gate directly.
right to the, yep,
Yeah,
to
that
the
gate
left
went.
of her there.
It just
So,
opened right behind her.
whoops.
Yeah, my gate didn't open.
Oh
Oh,
no.
it did you trade the fish?
Yeah, I got the boots in my inventory.
Okay.
And the gates didn't open.
And she didn't open that gate for you.
No.
Hmm.
Did you click on her and talk to her again?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is where a perfect opportunity comes into play for those Minecraft masters to help those
Right.
other students that may not, you know, to be there and say, okay, what did you try and do? What didn't work? Let me help you through this. Because the other thing that you could do is if you notice straight ahead from where I am,
Yeah.
the woman is out here. I could go back to the pond and come through that part again to see what I may have missed
Uh-huh.
and then go through that process. But oftentimes the students are going to help each other to figure out, okay, what did you do? What didn't you do? And they will get you through the process.
Yeah,
But-
I even got another cod and talked to her again.
Oh, you did?
Huh.
Yeah, and I traded it and it just wouldn't open.
Huh. Okay.
Because the chest behind her has cod in it, and so I just took cod out of it.
So you grabbed another one on the chest. See, there you go. That's exactly what your students are going to end up doing because they're going to try and find a solution for if they didn't trade the first time. But we are running short on time here, so I want to make sure that you understand how to export your journal, even though you've only gotten through the first two phases, okay?
Mhm.
So if you hit escape, so we're going to use our creeper, we got your attention back, but if we hit escape and we go to save and actually, excuse me, never mind. We need to get into your book and quill. So we're going to write, okay?
Mhm.
So right in there, and we're going to sign that book and quill. And so what you will do is you will place your name in there and it's already given it a title. You're going to give it a title, but it says your name in there. So if you want it to be your mindful night or your night quest, whatever you want to call it. And as soon as you click sign and close, that book is going to be signed. And so you will no longer be able to edit it. Okay. Just so that you know that.
Okay.
So we're going to click sign and close. And now you'll see that your book is glowing. Okay. Now you don't see any controls as far as on the right-hand side, but when you right click, it's going to give you the option to export that. So even though it's signed, now we're going to export that book as a PDF. So you're going to export and save this to wherever you would typically save your files. I typically choose best practice, which would be your cloud storage, whether it's your Google Drive, your OneDrive, whatever it might be, just because that is accessible on any device at any time. Okay. So save that PDF where you would like to save it. And then what we are going to do then is to hit escape. That's going to pause your game once you've exported. Okay. And we're going to go back to, oh, look at this. Now my timer's working, Tim. We're going to go back to our Padlet, and we're going to have you upload your file, your PDF file, wherever you saved it, to your specific column. Okay, so this is one way that teachers can have their students share their information. And so as students go through this, they take pictures, they write in the journal, they have the ability to capture this PDF, and they can upload that PDF wherever I saved it to, and mine is lost. But you
Mr.
just simply,
which kind of, do you guys use a particular platform, like as far as LMS goes?
Canvas.
Okay.
Well, we're migrating to Canvas right now, but
okay, perfect. So again, you simply will click sign and give it your name. It'll have that glowing book feature. Once it's glowing, then you can right click to export that. And you export it as a PDF file wherever you want to save that. So again, if they have a shared folder in Canvas, or however the teacher wants to set that up. And then you have the ability to have that file. And this is how students are able to present what they experienced throughout the actual lesson. So using the camera and the Book and Quill are just two assessment tools that can be used in this tool.
Got it.
Okay, there are other ways. We can actually use Flipgrid for assessment. We can use PowerPoint for assessment. There's so many different ways. But just so that you know, Mr. Alanis, you will get a digital certificate for completing and participating in the Mindful Night with us today. And we'll also get you a hard copy that you can print off, and you can even put that up into your office. And I'm sure students and teachers will really love seeing that posted.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, we wanted to let you know too that we do have some upcoming dates that we're also going to be doing. So this was social emotional learning, where we focused on mindfulness. December 14th, our focus is going to be on math. January 18th will be language arts. February 22nd will be science. March 8th, we're looking at social studies. That one's still to be determined, but we will make sure that we get that out. And then April 12th, we're going to get into coding.
Okay.
Okay. So do you have any questions, comments?
No, nothing right now. This was
Okay.
good. This was a good first experience.
Good. So hopefully you were able to see how we can bring in even social emotional learning skills. And really when we get into the specific curriculum, you'll see how we can apply those curricular concepts within and using Minecraft as that learning tool as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing on this particular one is when you share this with students is just them recognizing that it's a little different than what they're used to experiencing without there's a piece towards the end where you actually do get to do a little building, but it's just one of those things where they kind of have to practice some patience too by following through with those tasks and not being like, oh, what can I do? What can I do? That's why those NPCs are so important.
So can any student create their own world then, like in any of these packs?
Yes, that is possible. And like we said, you have the ability to go into what we would call a blocks of grass world, which is an open world, and that does allow you to allow students to create and build. And so you can have objectives and specific outcomes that you have for your students, and they can build and create and use their imagination how they want to do that.
I believe there's a setting too, like that might, as far as that the build, like the worlds with the subject kits, that because I know I'd struggled just a little bit with a couple of kids that last year couldn't open it up, but I think if you just check your admin settings on that, they should be able to.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. This was great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And